Listening test instructions. The listening test is about 50 minutes. There are 6 parts in listening test. You will have about 6 minutes to listen to each passage and answer the questions. The passage will be played once.
Hey, you look concerned. What's on your mind?
The final exam. I'm not fully prepared yet.
Well, don't worry too much. You still have 3 days.
Yeah, but 3 days will fly past in a wink.
Well, you still have time to cram things in your brain anyway.
Question 1. Why is the man looked worried?
You will hear a conversation in 3 sections. You will hear each section only once. After each section, you will hear 2 or 3 questions. You will hear the questions only once. Choose the best answer to each question.
Good morning. I really hope you can help me. I'm Emma, a tourist from Canada, and I've lost my passport while sightseeing in the city yesterday.
Good morning, Emma. I'm sorry to hear that. First, take a deep breath. We'll do everything we can to assist you. Can you tell me where you last remember having your passport?
I think it was at the National Art Museum. I remember showing it for the audio guide, but afterward we visited a cafe nearby and I didn't check for it again until we were back at the hotel.
Understood. Have you reported the loss to the local police?
Yes, I filed a report this morning. They gave me a case number and said to contact my embassy next.
That's good. We'll need that police report to start the replacement process. Did you bring any other form of identification?
I have a scanned copy of my passport on my phone and my Canadian driver's license in my wallet.
That helps a lot. Let's begin the paperwork, and I'll explain what steps we'll take next.
When did Emma likely realize her passport was missing? Why does the officer mention the police report? Why is the scanned passport useful?
You will hear the second section of the conversation shortly.
Now, Emma, we'll need to verify your identity and citizenship. That scanned passport copy and driver's license are very useful. Do you also have your travel itinerary or any proof of return?
Yes, I have my return ticket for next Thursday. I can show you the booking confirmation email.
Excellent. I'll also need 2 passport-sized photos. We have a booth in the waiting area where you can take those.
Okay, I'll get that done right after we finish here. How long does the emergency passport take to process?
Normally, it takes 1 to 2 business days. Since you have all necessary documents and a police report, we should be able to issue a temporary travel document by tomorrow afternoon.
That's such a relief. I was panicking about how I'd get home.
You're not the first tourist this has happened to, and you handled it well by acting quickly. Once you get your photos, come back with the receipt and we'll complete the application.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate your help and your calmness.
It's my job, Emma. Let's make sure you get home safely.
What does the officer's tone suggest about handling lost documents? What does Emma's response to the photo request imply? What does the conversation imply about Emma's travel urgency?
You will hear the third section of the conversation shortly.
Here are the passport photos and the receipt from the booth. What happens next?
Perfect. I've already filled in most of your emergency passport application. I just need your signature here and here.
Done. So I come back tomorrow afternoon to pick it up.
Exactly. Just bring your ID and the receipt we'll give you today. Meanwhile, avoid booking any flights or making changes to your return trip until you have the document in hand.
That makes sense. I'll just stay around the hotel and relax a bit. This has been stressful.
Understandable. Also, be extra cautious with your belongings from now on. Keep digital backups of all essential documents and try to carry only what's absolutely necessary when sightseeing.
Absolutely. Lesson learned. I never thought I'd lose something as important as a passport.
It happens to many. What's important is you acted responsibly. The embassy's here to help, but being proactive like you were makes a huge difference.
Thank you again. I'm honestly so grateful for how smoothly this went, all things considered.
You're welcome, Emma. Safe travels home, and enjoy the rest of your stay as best as you can.
What does the conversation suggest about how emergencies are handled at the embassy? Which of the following best captures the officer's advice on personal safety?
You will hear a conversation followed by 5 questions. Listen to each question. You will hear the question only once. Choose the best answer to each question.
Good evening, sir. Welcome back to the Horizon Suites. How can I assist you?
Hi there. I'm actually staying here, but I think I've lost my room key. I can't seem to find it anywhere.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Don't worry, it happens more often than you'd think. May I have your name, please?
Sure, it's Michael Grant. I checked in yesterday afternoon.
Thank you, Mr. Grant. Just give me a moment to pull up your reservation. Yes, here it is. You're staying in room 514 on the 5th floor, correct?
Yes, that's right.
All right. For security reasons, I'll need to verify your identity before issuing a new key. Do you have any form of ID on you?
Yes, I have my driver's license right here in my wallet.
Perfect, thank you. Everything matches. I'll go ahead and deactivate the lost key card and issue you a new one. Just to confirm, you said you've lost it completely, correct?
Yeah, I'm not sure where I dropped it. I might have left it at the cafe I visited earlier, or maybe in a taxi.
No problem. I'll mark it as inactive in the system, so even if someone else finds it, it won't work anymore. Here's your new key card.
Thanks so much. Do I need to sign anything?
No, we've already logged the change in your profile. Is there anything else you need for your stay tonight? Extra towels, wake-up call, or perhaps a late checkout?
Actually, a wake-up call would be great. Can you set it for 6:30 a.m.?
Certainly. Consider it done. You'll receive a call from the front desk at 6:30 a.m. sharp.
That's perfect. Also, do you happen to have the contact number of the cafe nearby? Leona's, I think it was? I just want to check if I dropped the key card there.
Of course. Let me just look it up. Yes, here it is. Wright's number on paper. You can give them a call and check. Hopefully someone turned it in.
Thanks a lot for your help. You've been very kind.
You're very welcome, Mr. Grant. If you need anything else, don't hesitate to call the front desk. Have a pleasant evening.
Thanks. Good night.
Good night, sir.
Why did the receptionist mention needing identification before issuing a new key? What does the receptionist imply about the frequency of lost key incidents? Why was the original key blocked? Why wasn't Michael asked to sign? What did Michael's request show?
You will hear a conversation followed by 6 questions. Listen to each question. You will hear the question only once. Choose the best answer to each question.
Good morning, Miss Linton. Thanks for making time to meet with me today.
Of course, Chris. I appreciate you reaching out before your lease expires. It's always better to discuss things in advance. How can I help?
Well, my lease is up at the end of next month, and I'm hoping to renew it. I've enjoyed staying here, but I wanted to go over the terms and see if there are any changes.
I'm glad to hear that. You've been a great tenant, and I'd be happy to renew the lease. There are a few small updates in the new agreement, though nothing drastic.
All right. Could you walk me through them?
Certainly. The biggest change is the rent. Due to rising maintenance and utility costs, I'll be increasing it from $1,200 to $1,275 per month. The increase will take effect with the new lease starting September 1st.
Okay, that's a $75 increase. Is that negotiable at all?
I understand the concern, but I've tried to keep it as reasonable as possible. It's still below market rates in this neighborhood. However, if you commit to a 2-year renewal instead of 1, I can keep it at $1,250 per month.
I might be open to the 2-year option. What about utilities?
Utilities will remain your responsibility, as outlined in the current lease. But I've added a clause about waste disposal. Tenants are now expected to place bins at the curb by 7 a.m. on collection day. The city fined me last month because some tenants left bins out for 2 extra days.
Why did Chris likely schedule this meeting before the lease expired? What can be inferred about Ms. Linton's attitude toward Chris as a tenant? What is the landlord's primary justification for the rent increase? How does Ms. Linton attempt to make the rent increase more acceptable? What does the waste disposal clause imply about past tenant behavior? What best describes Chris's attitude toward the new policies?
You will hear a news item once. It is about 1.5 minutes long. Then 5 questions will appear. Choose the best way to complete each statement from the drop-down menu.
Health authorities have issued a major food recall affecting several popular products after reports of contamination emerged, raising serious public health concerns. The recall was announced yesterday by the Food Safety and Inspection Service, FSIS, following routine testing that revealed the presence of harmful bacteria in multiple batches of packaged foods distributed across the country. The contamination involves Listeria monocytogenes, a dangerous bacterium that can cause severe illness, especially in pregnant women, older adults, and individuals with weakened immune systems. The affected products include pre-packaged salads, deli meats, and ready-to-eat meals from a major food processing company, Fresh Delight Foods, Inc. According to FSIS officials, the contamination was detected during random sampling at distribution centers, prompting an immediate investigation. Fresh Delight Foods has voluntarily halted production and is cooperating fully with federal regulators to identify the source and prevent further spread. Consumers are urged to check their refrigerators and dispose of any Fresh Delight products with the following lot numbers: FD1001, FD1002, and FD1003. The company has also set up a toll-free hotline and website for customers seeking refunds or more information. Health experts warn that symptoms of Listeria infection can include fever, muscle aches, nausea, and diarrhea, often appearing within a few days of consumption. In severe cases, the infection can lead to meningitis or miscarriage. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention recommends anyone experience symptoms after consuming the recalled products to seek immediate medical attention. This recall marks one of the largest in recent years and highlights the ongoing challenges in food safety monitoring. Authorities continue to investigate and will provide updates as new information becomes available. Consumers are advised to stay vigilant and follow safety guidelines to minimize health risks.
You will listen to a 2 minutes video. Then 8 questions appear. Choose the best way to answer each question.
Okay, team. I called this quick meeting because we've been getting feedback about the shift schedules, some of it not so positive. I want to make sure everyone feels the distribution is as fair as it can be. Jessica, Mark, thanks for taking time before your rounds.
Of course, Carla. Honestly, it's been a bit hard lately. I've worked for night shifts in the past week, and it's starting to affect my sleep schedule and, well, everything else.
I hear you. I had 5 evening shifts in a row last month. That threw my entire routine off. But then again, I prefer evenings over nights. Nights just drain me.
I appreciate the honesty. Just so you both know, the new scheduling software we're using doesn't always factor in personal preferences as well as it should. I've been adjusting manually, but clearly, we need a better approach.
Maybe we could try rotating the tough shifts more consistently. Like, if I have a night shift one week, I shouldn't have more than to the next.
Right, but then again, if someone prefers a certain type of shift, shouldn't they get more of it? I don't mind covering extra evenings if it means avoiding nights.
That's where it gets complicated. I can't play favorites, and I also have to ensure there's balanced coverage on weekends, holidays, and especially during the peak hours between 2 and 6 a.m.
What if we submitted our preferred shifts at the start of the month? That way, you'd have an idea of what everyone wants.
But then wouldn't the people who always submit first get priority?
Not necessarily. I could randomize preferences or create a rotation where everyone gets a fair share over a 3-month cycle. It might not satisfy everyone every week, but it should even out in the long run.
That seems fair.
As long as I'm not stuck on back-to-back weekends again, I'm on board.
You will hear a report once. It is about 3 minutes long. Then 6 questions will appear. Choose the best way to answer each question from the drop-down menu.
Across schools and communities, the conversation around homework continues to stir differing thoughts. A common viewpoint suggests that homework should not be completely eliminated, but rather restructured to be more meaningful and balanced with students' overall well-being. Many educators and parents who support this view believe that homework, when used wisely, has educational value. It gives students an opportunity to revisit what they've learned in class, apply new concepts independently, and strengthen their study habits. For subjects that rely on practice, like math or language learning, homework can help students become more confident and prepared for future lessons. At the same time, there's increasing concern that too much homework is becoming a burden. Students often face multiple assignments every night, which can lead to late nights, anxiety, and a lack of time for relaxation or other interests. Supporters of a reformed homework system emphasize the importance of balance. They argue that schoolwork should not spill too heavily into a student's home life, especially when it starts to affect sleep, family relationships, or participation in sports, hobbies, or social activities. Another part of the discussion focuses on fairness. Not every student has access to a quiet place to study, reliable internet, or help from adults at home. These differences in home environments can affect how well students perform on homework. Advocates for a more thoughtful approach suggest that assignments should be designed to be completed independently, without needing outside assistance. Teachers who agree with this view are also beginning to think more carefully about the type of homework they assign. Instead of long problem sets or repetitive tasks, they are moving toward assignments that are more creative and reflective. There is also a growing interest in giving students more choices, encouraging them to explore topics in ways that are personally meaningful while still supporting the skills taught in class.